I'd love to share some thoughts on feeling God's presence. Imagine we're sitting in a cozy living room, light streaming through the windows, a warm cup of tea in hand, and we're just talking heart to heart. There are moments in life when God's presence feels as real and as warm as the sunlight touching your skin on a brisk morning. But then there are times when he feels as distant as the stars in the night sky, leaving us wondering, where are you, God? It's in these moments, in the silence and the waiting, that our faith is stretched and our hearts yearn for just a whisper of his presence. First, let's remember that feeling God's presence isn't always about an emotional experience or a physical sensation. It's deeper than that. It's a knowing in our hearts that he is with us, even when our feelings might suggest otherwise, like a friend who sits with us in silence, not needing to say a word to make their presence known. In the Bible, David talks about this in Psalms 139, 7-10, saying, "Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me." What a comforting thought, right? That no matter where we are or what we're going through, God is there. We can't escape his loving presence. But how do we become more aware of God's presence, especially in the tough times? Well, it's like tuning into a radio frequency. Sometimes you have to adjust your dial. Prayer is our way of tuning into God's frequency. It's not about reciting perfect words, but opening our hearts to him just as we are. And then there's the Bible, God's love letter to us. Through its pages, we hear his voice, learn his character, and are reminded of his promises. Another beautiful way to feel God's presence is through worship. Have you ever been lost in a moment of worship? Maybe a song, a beautiful sunset, or a heart filled with gratitude, and suddenly you're overwhelmed with a sense of his love and peace? That's God reaching out to us, reminding us that he's here. Sometimes feeling God's presence comes through serving others. When we step out of our own needs and into serving someone else, we often encounter God in the most unexpected ways. Jesus said, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." Matthew 18:20. It's in the acts of love, kindness, and community that we often feel God's presence most tangibly. But what about those dry seasons when, despite all our efforts, God seems silent? It's important to remember that God's silence doesn't mean his absence. These seasons can be a time of deep spiritual growth, a time to trust in his faithfulness even when we don't feel it. Mother Teresa once wrote about experiencing a deep sense of separation from God, yet she continued to serve and love others out of her deep love for him. Her life is a powerful testimony to the fact that our feelings don't always reflect the reality of God's closeness. In closing, feeling God's presence is a journey, one that has its highs and lows. But take heart, my friend, for he has promised never to leave us nor forsake us. Hebrews 13:5. Let's keep seeking, keep knocking, and keep asking. For the more we seek him, the more we find him, not just in the extraordinary, but in the ordinary moments of our lives. So wherever you are on this journey, know that it's okay to have moments of doubt and questions. God isn't afraid of them. He welcomes your search for his presence because it draws you closer to his heart. And in that search, in the quiet whispers and the silent prayers, you'll find him waiting for you, always ready to reveal the depth of his love and the warmth of his presence. Thank you for this heart-to-heart. Remember, you're never alone. God is closer than you think, and his love for you is endless.